and enormous life. Over 10 million species. Each one are remarkable. All life depends upon beautiful connection. None can survive without a relation. Why plants need a rain or a light? Why certain animals grabbing, catching, chewing, biting, and certain hunting like swallows? And how microbes survive? Why ourselves, human beings, need crops to grow? Why we domesticate certain animals? Yes, the food. And the nutrition. Hi students, I am Bazi from Meslova DG Classroom. You know how life exists on this planet, how we live, what makes us to live. Every organism on this planet takes air to breathe, water to drink and food to grow. No doubt these three key factors are making organism to survive on this planet. You know, different types of organisms are doing different types of activities. Even we human beings from the morning wake up to end of the day doing number of activities in our daily life. How we work, what makes us to work? No doubt, surely the energy in our body makes us to work. You know, how this energy comes from? Where does this energy comes from? Surely these three key factors are the reason for getting energy in our body. The intake of food material, the food is nothing but intake of nutrients. Generally we take rice, wheat, pulses, millets, fats, oils, meat, milk and different greeny vegetables and different types of varieties of fruits and greeny leaves, and directly in the form of raw material, or maximum we take in processed form by cooking or by boiling or by steaming or by grilling or by grinding or by roasting or frying. From all these food materials we are getting energy yielding like carbohydrates and fats, body building like proteins and amino acids, and growth regulators and protectives like vitamins and mineral salts and different types of micronutrients. These nutrients make us to work. These nutrients are that supports the growth and development of our body, and these are the maintain the regulation in our daily activities. You know how all these nutrients are very important for our life, and the intake or procurement of these nutrients is nothing but nutrition. And we only living on this planet? No doubt. Along with us, a diversified varieties of plants, animals, birds and fishes and invisible world like in which we can't see with our naked eye, like virus, bacteria, algae, fungi and different varieties of microbes in which some are harmful and some are useful. Is all organisms are taking same type of food? No. From single cell microbe to a multicellular or giant organisms like elephants and whales are taking different types of varieties of food materials. They have different mode of nutrition and different patterns of intake of food material. And generally if you observe different types of plants in our villages or in our homes or in our schools or even in our gardens, from tiny grass to a giant trees like alpines, they are preparing their food material and they are producing different types of varieties of flowers, fruits, leaves, and in which we are plucking those flowers, those fruits from those plants. And also we pour water daily to the plants. Why we are pouring the water daily to the plants? How they produce these varieties of flowers, fruits and vegetables? And how many of you question that how they are produced? The plants which are present on this planet, those green plants, they are absorbing carbon dioxide directly from the atmosphere through the pores present on the leaves called stomata, and water and nutrients from the soil through roots, and they are making their food material in presence of sunlight, and in which they produce carbohydrates which are in the form of food material, and that food material is stored in various parts of the body of the plant. That food is stored in the form of fruits, in the form of flowers, or in the form of roots, or in the form of stem and various parts of the body of the plant. We are consuming those food material, we are consuming those flowers, those fruits, those varieties of plant material. The organisms like animals, they are not having any ability to prepare their own food material. And if you observe those organisms, especially if you go to villages or in a grazing lands or in a crop lands or in agriculture field, certain cattle or goats or sheep and certain buffaloes, they are grazing the grass, they are eating the grass. And if you observe in our daily life, for example, if you see in TV shows like National Geographic Channel, Discovery or Animal Planet, in which the animals like deers, giraffes and the giant or huge animals like elephants, they are plucking the entire plant into its mouth. This diversified intake of food patterns we observe in various types of animals. Certain animals like hyenas, fox, cheetahs, leopards, tigers and lions, they are hunting and catching the prey, and they are taking the flesh directly into their mouth, and they are sucking blood from those organisms, and they are meat eaters, they are taking flesh into their mouth. Whereas if you see certain animals like snakes, they are grabbing frogs with their mouth. And if you see in rainy season especially, the leaves, the rotten barks and the rotten leaves falling on the ground, in which you can see the mushrooms, they are grown on these rotten material, and certain mycelia are specially observed in these rotten areas, and those are grown on dead and decay material, and they are getting food from those materials. Different plants and different animals, and they have different mode of nutrition and different patterns of intake of food materials. All these animals and plants, they are interlinked, interdependent and interacted always with each other to fulfill their nutrient or requirements. We observe these different types of patterns of nutrition, but in detail we have to observe the pattern of nutrition in plants and how plants or prepare their own food material. One of my student questioned that why only green plants making their food material, why not green animals? And this question, it's a peculiar and very good question by a student. And here if you observe, certain animals are green in color, certain snakes are green in color, and also if you see the birds like parrots are green in color, and also insects like praying mantis and grasshoppers are green in color, but they are not able to prepare their own food material. But why green plants are making their own food material? And yes, the a special type of peculiar or unique pigment present in plants which is in green in color, that is chloroplast. And this chloroplast in which chlorophyll is present, this chlorophyll is the workshop where the complete process of photosynthesis is going on, through which they produce their own food material like carbohydrates or glucose. This idea was first formulated or in the form of equation given by C.B. Van Neel in the year 1931. And according to his idea, for each molecule of a carbohydrate, there is same molecule of water and oxygen also produced in the process of photosynthesis. And he formulated equation as carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight absorbed by chlorophyll gives rise to food material like carbohydrate and byproducts like oxygen. By this above equation, by this formulated equation by C.B. Van Neel, we concluded that plant need 4 essential factors to prepare their own food material through process called photosynthesis. Those are carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. These are the 4 essential factors. This basic idea of establishment of photosynthesis is established by Van Helmont in the year 1648. He demonstrated a series of experiments, like he demonstrated the mass of the plant does not affected by the mass of the soil, and also he demonstrated that soil is not the basic reason for the growth of the plant, and also the water and different nutrients present in the soil is the basic reason for the growth of a plant. He conducted an experiment by taking a small potted plant with measured amount of soil in it. As for example, 2 kgs of soil he put in the pot, and he kept a tiny mass of a seed into that plant. And after he observed, after 2 to 3 years, what happened? The mass of the seed and the comparison with the mass of the soil in the pot, the soil mass, the weight of the soil will not increase or decrease, but the weight of the plant is increased. And he concluded that the soil is not the reason for the growth of the plant, but the presence of water and other environmental factors like nutrients in the soil is the basic reason for the growth of a plant. He concluded essentiality of water in the photosynthesis and the growth of the plant. And due to his basic idea of establishment in the research of photosynthesis, in later years in 1770, Joseph Priestley, he concluded the essentiality of air in the photosynthesis. He explained the importance of air in the photosynthesis. In 1770, Joseph Priestley conducted series of experiments, and he conducted a series of experiments by using bell jar. In bell jar experiment, he took a bell jar and he kept a lighted candle under a bell jar and observed gradually the candle's light off. And after he kept a rat under a same bell jar. After some time, rat is died. And he kept mint plant, rat and candle under the same bell jar. He observed that what happens. He observed that both candle is lighting itself and rat also living. The rat is not died. And he concluded that the mint plant releasing something which is essential for the life of the rat as well as the lightening of the candle. And after series of experiments in 1774, he concluded that gas released in this bell jar experiment is oxygen, but the term oxygen name was given in the later year by famous Russian scientist Lavoisier. You know, by these experiments, he concluded air is very important and essential for the process of photosynthesis, and this, in the same time, the carbon dioxide and its essentiality in the process of photosynthesis. We have to if you want to know the essentiality of this carbon dioxide, we have to do a small activity. For this activity, we have to take a plant, a potted plant, and a glass bottle, transparent wide mouthed glass bottle, a splitted cork and iodine solution and petri dish. And this, you have to take this potted plant, and the plant should be long and narrow leafed plant is better for this experiment, and keep this potted plant into dark room for 2 to 3 days for destarching. Destarching means removing of the starch. If you keep the plant in dark room, it stops the process of photosynthesis, in which the starch will not form. Hence, we keep the plant in dark room. After that, you have to take that plant and take a wide mouthed bottle with a splitted cork, and you have to keep potassium hydroxide solution in that bottle. Why we are selecting potassium hydroxide pellets or solution? Because it absorbs or reacting carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Hence, we take the wide mouthed bottle containing potassium hydroxide with splitted cork. You have to one of the leaf directly place into the splitted cork into the bottle. Half part of the leaf is exposed to the atmosphere and half of the leaf kept in the bottle. At the mouth of the bottle, you have to grease, because you have to place the grease, because it avoids contact of carbon dioxide to the leaf present in the bottle. Okay, you have to keep the entire setup for 2 to 3 hours in the bright sunlight. After that, you have to take the setup, and you have to plug that leaf and place on a petri plate. Take iodine solution and pour 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution on the entire leaf. What happens? Iodine reacts with starch and it forms into bluish black color, and half of the part of the leaf becomes bluish black color, whereas the half of the leaf is not remain in the same color. Which part of the leaf become bluish black? That is the part which is exposed to the outer atmosphere becomes bluish black, because photosynthesis is carried out in that part only. The half of the part which kept in the bottle does not contain any starch due to absence of carbon dioxide, because potassium hydroxide solution present in the bottle absorbs carbon dioxide. Hence, the process of photosynthesis does not carried in that part. By this experiment, we understand that carbon dioxide is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. Students, in the same manner, in 1779, John Ingelhausen, one of the scientists who proved sunlight is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. He kept hydrilla plant in bright sunlight, and he observed that oxygen is liberated from that hydrilla plant. The same setup is kept in the dark place, but the hydrilla plant does not release oxygen, and he concluded that bright sunlight is very essential to carry photosynthesis by plants. In 20th century, Engelmann, one of the scientists who carried number of series of experiments on plants, and he exposed plant to different types of wavelengths in light, especially in VIBGYOR. If you see the colors in rainbow, he exposed plants to different types of colors, and he concluded that maximum photosynthesis occur in maximum sunlight. By their experiments and research, the light is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. And also in 1817, Two scientists, Peltier and Cavinto, they discovered chlorophyll, and in the 1883, John Sachs, who discovered the presence of chlorophyll in the chloroplast. In 1954, Ernon discovered that he extracted chloroplast from the leaf, and they have conducted number of experiments to know the importance of chloroplast in the process of photosynthesis. And for this they take a variegated leaves, means for example a money plant. If you take money plant, they have variegated leaves, means the leaf does not consisting of complete green in color. Some part of the leaf is green in color, some part is in pale color. Even if you see certain plants are not green in color, they are in variegated, means certain some part of the leaf is green, but some part having different pigments like yellow, brown or bluish, or different types of pigments are there. But plant does not, the leaf which does not consisting of green color, they are not able to prepare their food, and the part of the leaf which consisting green in color only carries photosynthesis. By their observation, in the process of photosynthesis, chloroplast is very essential. That is only the workplace and workshop for conduction of photosynthesis. By these inventions, the plants needs these four essential factors like carbon dioxide, water, light and chlorophyll, and these four essential factors makes plants to carry the process of photosynthesis to prepare their own food material in the form of carbohydrates or glucose. You know how this photosynthesis is carried out, how the process of photosynthesis takes place and where does it takes place. Is there any mechanism lies in the process of photosynthesis? You know students, the process of photosynthesis consisting of two phases, it occurs in two phases. You know, the process of photosynthesis having a special type of mechanism, and this mechanism in simple steps, it occurs in three simple steps. One is the conversion of solar energy or sunlight into simple chemical form of energy, and splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and hydroxyl ion, means H plus and OH minus ions, and reduction of carbohydrates into reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. These are the three simple steps involved in the process of photosynthesis, but these three simple steps are occurs in two phases. One is light reaction or photochemical phase, and another one is dark reaction or dark phase. You know, light reaction which occurs in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. You know, in chloroplast thylakoid is there in which the light reaction is occurred. You know why we call it as light reaction? Technically this reaction and this phase also called as photochemical phase, because technically it is initiated by light and entire reactions occurred in this phase initiated by light, hence we call it as light reaction. You know, in light reaction what happens in thylakoid of the chloroplast, it occurs in thylakoid of the chloroplast. The chlorophyll molecule present in the leaf absorbs light in the form of photons, and after it gets excited and it becomes excited, this excited energy releases electrons, and these electrons or this energy is useful to split the water molecule into hydrogen and hydroxyl ions, and this process is called as photolysis. Photo means light, lysis means breakdown, means breakdown of water molecule in the presence of light is nothing but photolysis. In this process, in this light reaction, this hydrogen and hydroxyl ion, this hydroxyl ions going number of series of reactions, and it forms into water and oxygen, and oxygen is liberated outside and water present in the leaf is consumed by the plant, whereas this hydroxyl ion also releases ATP and NADPH. ATP means adenosine triphosphate, NADPH means nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide hydrogen phosphate, and these are the end products of the light reaction. The hydrogen ion remains in this light reaction, whereas in dark phase or dark reaction, dark means this reaction does not occur in night or does not occur in dark only, but it is independent of light, hence we called it as dark phase or dark reaction. In this dark reaction, this NADPH or the hydrogen ion present in the NADPH going under series of reactions by using intermediate compounds like ribulose 1,5 biphosphate or certain enzymes, they are reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide to carbohydrates or glucose, which is also called as grape sugar. This entire cycle in the dark reaction we also called as Kelvin cycle. In this dark phase only, the food material like the fixation of carbon dioxide or reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate occurs, and in which the food is stored in the form of starch, and we also call it as grape sugar. In this manner, plants are making their own food material through the process called photosynthesis, and hence they are capable to prepare their own food material. If you see any plant from tiny grass to a giant or a tallest plant like alpines, they prepare their own food material in this manner only, and they are adapting according to any condition, any climatic zones. They will sustain on this planet because they are capable to prepare their own food material by using 4 essential elements: carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the soil, and sunlight, and the workshop present in itself like chloroplast. In this manner, plants prepare their own food material, hence we called it as autotrophs. Auto means self, trophic means nutrition, which prepare their own food material are called as autotrophs. This mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. In this manner, plants prepare their own food material and they are capable to prepare their own food material through the process called photosynthesis. Hence, they are the major food suppliers of the world, and they can adapt any type of conditions and any type of places in the world. And according to one of the research by the scientists, they concluded that process of photosynthesis is the major supplier of the food resource to the entire planet. In this way, the autotrophic nutrition on this planet provides a major suppliers of food to other organisms. In this class, we discuss about autotrophic nutrition or autotrophic mode of nutrition and how it's prepare its own food material, and how all these things and the process of photosynthesis, how they are provide food to others, we discussed it in this class. And later in next class we will meet with another mode of nutrition. Students, bye.